Hello.
Hi.
How's everyone doing? We we're doing the things. We're good. We're back. I was wrong. Lions lost. I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did not mean to laugh at that.
No, I delivered it pretty funny. It's a bummer.
Yeah, truthfully.
They they fucking unfortunately. It really sucks because they gave up such a huge lead. They were winning, and then they basically just they didn't pull it out at the end. They sucked. It sucked. I was so bad. There was a couple plays that are like the same guy dropped two passes, really three, but two really main important passes he dropped. Like one was in his hands and the other one literally hit him in the stomach. So it was like, all right, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And they almost went to the Super Bowl. They were up 27-10. So hey, whatever. We did good. To I guess kind of piggyback off that. I was gonna say I'm gonna talk to him about doing the how we. Sorry, I forgot that I'm not looking even at the camera because we can't see each other because my internet sucks again.
Yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah.
staring off at shit.
I had to, as soon as we started, because I keep you can't even see me. I'm pointing to the people. I keep my OBS on the screen to my left, and then I keep Discord on the one where my camera's positioned. And I noticed, like, without having you in front of me, I'm like watching myself because I like talk with my hands and shit. So I had to move my OBS over here. So I'm like just watching me.
Yep.
And it's not.
I just did that. I just did that because I forgot. And
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that because I had it all set to the side, and I didn't remove it. Anyways, no. So over this break, over the time we weren't podcasting, me and Edie talked, and we were like, "Hey," or I was like, "Hey, we should." In a way, we can start doing in a way slight versions of segments. Obviously, I've gotten way more into sports. And I still love video games and stuff, but I'm not as delved into them as he is. So we might start in a way like not necessarily as really segments. It'll just be more like, all right, I'm probably just gonna talk about some sports for a bit, and then he will. I'll look up some sports news that pertain to us really in a general way, or things I'm excited about at all that actually sound maybe cool. And then he'll probably I'm sure he'll find out video game news. We'll talk about new video game shit, kind of like we normally already do, but we'll make it a more pointed effort to actually talk about these things. And then actually our regular, just our normal banter about whatever bullshit we come up with in general most of the time. But
Yeah. It's I gotta cut you off because you keep saying like video games and shit.
Yeah,
I promise you, I will look up shit to actually.
games, D&D.
Not even that. I'm gonna say I promise you, I will look up shit to talk about, but I am full ADHD. Like, I may talk about video games occasionally. I might talk about the fucking 2017 tax bill that's gonna fuck all of our taxes. I might talk about a movie. Like, don't expect me to have anything consistent. It will be something that I've delved into for the full week, like way too hard, but yours is gonna be a little more consistent. Like, what happened in hockey? What happened in football? Mine's gonna be like, hey, I was on TikTok and I watched like a fucking 6-hour documentary on Vince McMahon this week, that's some wild shit going on right now too.
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck about WWE anymore, but then I saw that was going on, I was like, ooh, that's rough. No wonder he fucking left the company.
Yeah, it feels like a Mandela effect to me because I'm like, I swear this shit came out like 6 years ago. Yeah. Like, maybe there was like accusations and shit, but I'm like, holy shit, man.
Yeah. No, and mine too. Mine isn't always going to be sports. Most of the time, it might be because there are generally exciting things going on at some points going on for at least the Lions. Like, there's not much going on right now. Obviously, like the week this drops, like the day this drops is the Pro Bowl. No one gives a fuck about the Pro Bowl anymore. It's kind of a joke. And then next week will be the Super Bowl, which we aren't in. So I don't really care that much. But like, other than that, like, yeah, like I do have some sports stuff I'll talk about later, involving us. But like, I'm not always gonna do always sports. It just happens that like I do happen to be really interested in sports a lot now, and also cocktail stuff. I might do that like normal, but if anything, it a better way to put it, instead of me always saying I'm going to talk about sports, it's more saying I'm going to probably have a thing I'm going to talk about, and then he will have a thing he'll talk about. We'll obviously talk about the things together as we pertain to them, and then I'm sure we'll venture off from that point, unless we both have other third things to talk about. But yeah. It's I was gonna say the more so the reason we're doing it is because like obviously like I enjoy talking to Edie on the podcast, but it's really hard when he's long distance, and honestly it's really this issue that we're having today, that when my internet, because my computer's so far from where our router's at, that it's I can't even see him. So it's like it's hard to like, we can talk, but it's like, well, we might as well just be on the phone, and it kind of feels like we're just having a phone conversation and not podcasting, and like not seeing him, it feels weird. So it's just like super interpersonal, and I think giving us a slight structure to what we're doing will make it easier for us to have things to talk about, because like our talking energy is not the same when we're on podcast versus in person.
Yeah, agreed. And you brought up the phone thing, man. Like, I fucking hate being on the phone. And now that you said that, like, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's exactly what it is. It's different, you know, like it is talking with a bro and catching up and shit. And usually we talk about some weird stuff. It's a lot better than, you know, being on the phone with my mom, and it's like, guess what the cat did? And I'm like, I don't know, cat stuff. No offense, Mom. Please tell me everything that Dodie and Diamond do, Mom. I love them. But also, like, I'm really sleepy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the phone talking about cats, you know?
No, and that's it. It's kind of like it's a phone call, and then like, especially because I can't see you, like even now, like I'm still, because we're ADD, I keep looking at things like,
oh yeah,
I did change the background of my computer finally to not like a generic background, and I do now have my wife on the screen, so at least she's somewhat in the middle, and I can kind of look at that, and that's easier to pay attention to than just me.
I feel like a nerd because I have my waifu.
Anime titties.
Yeah, I have my waifu on my screen.
Just some big old anime titties.
It's not even big old anime titties. It's power. There's like a murder scene in the background that I just noticed. Holy shit.
Honestly, I don't. I see it once in a while. I kind of forget what it is, but
yeah. Well, I had to get rid of the live wallpaper I had because every time I move my computer and switch desktop monitors and shit, it turns off.
Resets.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. That's fair. Well, so you saw my orange drink that I made.
Yeah.
It's orange. Oh, I'm showing the people on the camera now.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Or there.
It is carrot.
I don't remember which side of the screen I am on, so it's that direction.
Yeah. It's carrot. So like it's carrot with I made a honey syrup with sage and garlic in it.
Okay.
And by that I mean I just cut I took a giant clove of garlic, cut it in half, and then put half of it in there with the sage and let it sit for a day. And it's also like a little bit of water. It's a quarter ounce water, a quarter to 3/4 of an ounce honey with mixture. Heated it up so it blended, and then threw the shit in there. And then the carrot, I just like. So this was honestly the cooler part about it. So I wish I brought it up here to show the camera. I will actually I'll have to insert it into the podcast. I'll edit it in here if I remember to do that. I'm gonna throw. There's a clap. See if I remember it. But I took the carrot and I just soft boiled them. And then once I soft boiled them, I blended them, filtered them through like a herb bag. Well, like once I filtered it through a herb bag, hopefully the fact I remember to show you is all I did was I was looking at it and I'm like, is there still sediment and shit in here? And as I like spin it and rotate it around, it's ends up being like, I'm trying to remember the name of that alcohol. Is it Mystique? That shit that's got like, it was like such a cool effect.
Yeah, the swirly shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like that glitter gust in it, and it still has that effect. It's wild. I was like, that's really cool, and I almost wonder if that's what's actually in that stuff. Do they have some weird version of a carrot blend?
I think it's just edible glitter, but I mean,
probably.
The thickness was always what confused me because it looks like a currant, so that, I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I thought it was really cool that, like, I was super excited about it. And, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think you can see it in the final drink. At least I can't. I mean, you kind of can if you're looking at it really close, but, honestly, it's that and then tonic and vodka and a little Lillet. But it's pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna fuck with it still. It's not the top, but did not know carrot does that. Like, that was really kind of interesting to find out. Cause I had like a little nerd freak out. I was like, yo, I sent Edie the video. I sent it to a couple people. I was like, yo, look at this carrot.
Dude, you sent it to, oh my God, I feel like such a dick. You sent it to me and I was like, I was at work or something. I don't know. When did you send me that? I remember I was doing something when you sent me it. And I was like, oh, I'll look at that later. And then I
think it's 5:01. It's probably right when you're getting into the hotel.
Yeah, I was probably in the elevator and was like, I'll look at that later. And then I just fucking never did.
That's fair.
Dude, I feel like a dick with this stuff. Because I'm so tired whenever I get in.
Hey, I feel you on that, man. It's getting it's just been difficult. I've been tired, but
dude, same.
Yeah, I like was it other than like staying up late on Sunday, trying to recover from that during this week. I was like, man, I'm ready to trying to go to bed early tonight, hopefully, and then we'll see.
Dude, same.
Did you have a thing to talk about?
I have a little bit. We're going back to your sports stuff, buddy. And I feel like I jinxed it twice. The first way I jinxed it was, I really feel like the only reason they've been doing good is because I'm not in the state and I'm not watching. But then you guys sent me the score and I was like, oh, I'll pull it up and, catch the game a little bit. I got time. And then as soon as I pulled it up, we started sucking ass. And I was like, oh no, it's my fault. It's my fault. And I'll full disclosure, I'll take all the blame because I started watching, and what team's going to the fucking Super Bowl?
Well, look,
Kansas.
There was you. I think Risto said he did that same thing. He started watching, they started losing. I was like, honestly, like, I just don't know, Like the players just, I think the problem was is they got way too ahead
Yeah, they let
and
themselves falter. Got too
they put the
cocky.
cart before the horse.
Yeah, got a little too confident.
Yeah, and that's what kind of what sucks is it was like they were really close, but
I
like
mean,
they needed
even
to,
the end was like I stopped watching when they started doing bad because I was like, it's my fault. I need to stop. But even the final score, like, that's
yeah.
still a close game.
No,
It should not have stayed that close because we had
no,
such a high fucking lead on them.
they gave up a 17-point lead.
Yeah.
Like it's too much and it sucks. It's like fuck. But hey, you know what? I mean, either way, they got really close, and I think now that they got this close, it's going to fuel them so much more this year.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point because I mentioned the whole like I watch a lot of sports animes. I'm not a huge sports guy, but like
Yeah.
sports animes are fucking hype, dude. Like you take movies like Rudy and fucking all the Miracle, fucking Mighty Ducks, all that shit, like how intense those stories are, and then play it off on like 3 to 4 season, 25 episode season story arcs. Like
Yeah.
shit's intense. So the way I saw this like Lions shit was like, you know, like I said last episode, really bad team. Sorry, I got the burps. Really bad team starts doing really well, and it's like this is like season 1 where it's like season 1 or season 2, like they finally get their shit together, they're doing incredible, and it's like you are one game away from like the big game, and then you lose, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, now we gotta wait till the third season, and it's like the next season, aka next year, is like that's gonna be the year where it's like, holy shit, everything is so fucking hype. Like we had that letdown, now we get to fucking do it.
No, and that's literally exactly it. We so today they announced that we are going to be keeping our offensive coordinator
Yeah, I saw that.
and pretty much our defensive coordinator. They both were basically expected to go get jobs as head coaches somewhere else this year, and the one they just got the other job. They just ended up picking someone else, I think. And then he just told Ben Johnson is his name. He told Seattle and Washington basically that he's just gonna stay here because he wants to win he wants to win a ring here is basically what
Yeah.
he said. He literally said, I want to bring Lombardi to Detroit. So it's like, all right. And I'll just do the sports stuff I was gonna do. So since 2022, every team in the NFL except for one has changed their offensive coordinator at least once. And that's when that's when Ben Johnson became our coordinator, was 2022. And so now this will be his third year with the offense, and he'll really be able to like get things going. We have Jameson Williams. He was injured a lot last year, and then he was from the beginning of the year, and then ended up being suspended a couple games in the beginning because like he was gambling on basketball games. But
I remember that.
yeah, he gambled on. I think he gambled on college basketball, but he did it on his phone inside the hotel, is from what I understand.
Yeah.
But because it was a hotel that was paid for by the Lions organization, from that point, the hotel room then became a Lions organization room, and they were not allowed to gamble.
Yeah.
So that was it was like, what? Like they got him out of bylaw, and then they suspended him for 6 games, and then they ended up changing it to 4 once the season had started, because basically it was like, all right, hey, come on, like,
Yeah.
he didn't even bet on the sport either. Like, it'd be different if he bet on. There was at the time there was literally other players in the league that they were suspending because they had bet on their own team in the league, and it was like, all right, yeah, you can't bet on the sport at all, let alone your own team.
Yeah. That's it, like we said before. It's fucking insider trading. But like,
Absolutely.
if you're betting on a different sport in a completely different, like, I don't want to call it division, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's college
Yeah.
basketball. Like, I get it, being in sports you have connections, so you know some people. It could be a little flaky there, but like,
Yeah.
it's
No,
fucking, it's a different sport, man.
Yeah. And so, like, obviously, I don't think he's gambling anymore. I think he's done with that, other than, like, or he's really careful about it, you
Yeah.
know. But he's been doing really good as the year went on. Like, he's growing, and I think he will explode next year. He's literally, like, just I think he's probably the fastest guy in the entire league, if, like, arguably at least top 3. Like, he's just stupid fast. So, like, once he gets it figured out, like, he's gonna be really good. We're gonna be good. Um, that I'm excited for that. We have the draft coming, and based off of what they've done with our draft picks, like, since Brad Holmes, who's our general manager and does most of that with Campbell, he has literally picked, like, superstars so far. Like, Penei Sewell was in their first draft class. He's our right tackle on the offensive line, and he is arguably the best O lineman in the league. And he's only 3 years in. Like, he's 22
Jesus.
or something. Not even. Like, he might be 20. Like, no, 23, I think. Like, or 23 or 24. Like, it's crazy young. We have one of the youngest teams in the league. 4 of the people they drafted last year are actual literal starters and superstars. Actually, Jamar Gibbs, our running back, is now in the Pro Bowl. Like, Pro Bowl really is the games itself is a joke. Getting nominated kind of isn't. Like, it is and isn't. It's mostly fan votes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they replaced people that want. He's replacing Christian McCaffrey because he's going to be playing in the Super Bowl, so they don't perform the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
And then St. Brown, our wide receiver, he's playing in place of AJ Brown, who's injured, so he just can't do that. But we have such a crazy good team. And then, like, honestly, I think there's quite a good amount of draft picks. And they were... Because I look back at the way draft night happened last time, and I remember them picking, like... They were picking people, and everyone's like, who? And, like, what the fuck? Like, who are they picking? Why are they picking these people at these positions? Like, some of them were like, yeah, they could use it. But, like... We drafted a running back when we had a really good running back already, and then they ended up trading that running back we had to the Eagles, and he had, like, a career year there.
Yeah.
So that's who we traded. But that guy is also traded for the rookie that we now have, who's a rookie, and performing just as well. So that was wild. But, like, they've just shown that they build a crazy strong-ass team, and, like... We really are going to be... We have a harder schedule next year. We're facing harder teams consistently, which sucks, but, like, it's going to be really good. I'm excited. The draft's actually hosted in Detroit this year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, we are probably going to go down there. Me and Melissa are probably going to go down there. Just because, like, I want to... That never happens.
Yeah.
So if it's going to happen here, I'd like to go, even if I'm, like, not really super close to the vicinity, just to be in the area and be around it. Like, that's, I almost went to watch the game at Ford Field. They sold out Ford Field for the watch party.
No shit.
Yeah. When I say sold out, I'm pretty sure technically it was free.
Yeah, they filled the venue.
Or like,
yeah,
or like $10, like a seat kind of thing, and then essentially just made buku bucks on just the fucking concessions. And then they had, I believe they had like 2 essentially blow up screens in the middle of the field, like probably I think on the 30-yard lines, and they were essentially the Warped Tour wall, but just a projector screen, and then all of the actual jumbotron screens also had the game on, so it was just on everywhere. I had a coworker that went to it, and he's like, honestly, like, he was like, it really. He's like, he kind of wishes he didn't go, just because that feeling walking out of there.
Yeah.
Like, we felt deflated at home. I can't imagine being in the fucking Ford Field with everyone getting stupid excited that we were up 24, or 24 to, or 27 to 10 at the halftime.
Yeah.
We were like, yo, we're going in. We won the Super Bowl. Like,
People
were celebrating and shit. He was like, yeah, people were straight up already kind of like trying to like not celebrate, but celebrating.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be a cool year. The draft will be really awesome. The Wings are doing good. I honestly will probably start paying more attention to the Wings here at a few. Just because football is mostly over. But until the draft stuff happens. That's honestly most of it for me as far as the football stuff goes. I'm pumped. We have most of our coaching staff is returning. Some of them are probably getting picked up just for other smaller jobs, kind of like quarterbacks, coaches, and shit like that. But like, we're going to do really... I'm excited. We have a couple years till we really have to worry about paying everyone.
Yeah.
That's... Yeah. 4 years from now, 5 years... Really, 5 years from now is going to be an absolute fucking nightmare, because we're going to have Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell... He's doing good, but he's not performing like Sam and Jahmyr are. But then Brian Branch, who's also performing as well as a first rounder. He should have been a first rounder. That was the wild thing. He was projected to be like a high first rounder, and then somehow made it to the second round, and they were just like, what the fuck? Give him. And he's really good. And he's also like, I think he almost made the Pro Bowl. He was an alternate. So like, yeah, it's paying them. And then the year before that, they're going to have to pay Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams. But I think hopefully the culture that Campbell's building of like team mentality, I'm hoping they go the route that like Tom Brady did, where like instead of taking like $150 million, I think back then it was like $70 million for a contract, $80 million, something like that. Instead of taking like 70 or 80, he would take like 50. And then he'd be like, all right, use that other 20 million to, pay all of the offensive line guys in front of me and get all of the best dudes and get, use it to pay extra receivers and all this shit, so that the players he played with were good enough that that's why they were consistently in the Super Bowls, because he wasn't being greedy. He was like giving one. Obviously, he's ridiculous, and Bill Belichick's a fucking. I'm almost 100% sure he's autistic for football. Literally, like he's like, if you look at his personality and the traits he exhibits, he's just. I mean, he's got a real. I don't know, but. He's crazy smart. So, like, they were a super team, but then also the fact that, like, he was deciding to take essentially $20 to $30 million less in his contract so they could divvy that up amongst all the other players on his team, which, back then, I think wide receivers were, star wide receivers were getting, like, $20 million to $30 million a contract. So, like, that alone, he's like, cool, you can at least get me another star receiver or... 2 or 3 offensive linemen, shit like that, and so I'm trying it's shit, and I guess Joe Burrow did that too from the Bengals, but I'm hoping that that's what our team ends up doing, is like being like, look, like obviously millions are millions. We're gonna be set once we have quite a few. Like after that, it's just, we can do dumber and dumber things with our money if we wanted to, but we'd rather get Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, that and I know players come from like everywhere, but like there is that different mentality with the whole Detroit versus everybody, like, and people that have been here long enough, like even the transplants, like they pick that up, like like
Yeah,
it's a completely different mentality, and I hope more of the players pick that up too, like to where it's like, no, I'm gonna stick around here for a bit because it's our fucking turn,
Yeah, and that's it. Like I think who we're going to be able to have available to us through free agency is going to expand ridiculously, because we are now a Super Bowl team. We're in the argument to be a Super Bowl team very strongly now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things Campbell said. He's like, look, like, it sucks that like this might be the only time. If you're realistic, like this might be one of the only shots that we ever had to get to the Super Bowl, because there's 32 teams. It's a 1 in 32 chance, and that's if everything goes right. So it's like, he was and now that we are as good as we are, like being that we were really good at the end of the previous season, and then this season we like really good again. We're only going to be better, and people are going to now have that on us. They, what little leniency we might have gotten from certain teams before is gone.
Yeah, they're going to be playing even harder.
Yeah, because they're like, it's the fucking Lions. But I think that I'll wrap it up with finishing back to what I said before. Like the fact that the way I referred to it to Melissa is, they opened the door to the Super Bowl, but they dilly-dallied, and the 49ers snuck in the door before they did.
Yeah.
Like, essentially, they were, they waited that extra second, and they ran in front of them instead. And it's like, well, you let it happen, and you were right in front of the door. Instead, you moved out of the way. You opened the door the weirdest way possible. They opened the door like a 1950s man would open the door doing a musical dance, and then someone just ran through the door while they were like,
yeah, I was you made the door analogy, and I was going with like that Midwestern like overly nice like thing, like they get to the door first and then somebody's like fucking 15-20 feet away and they're like, go ahead, I'll hold it open for you. Come on, bud. No, you ain't gotta rush. Come on.
Yes.
Come on. Like, because we were so fucking far ahead. And then they're just like, no, come on. Come on. You got it. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's like, all right, well, I don't know. Like, they stood they literally stood in the doorway just holding it open.
Yep.
Because it's raining outside and they let him in. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm in no rush. Come on, buddy. I'm in no rush. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and either way, that's probably enough of the sports. It was,
dude, that's literally all I had this week because I was so hype. Like,
yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is. It's one of those. It's so important to the city of Detroit for most people that, like, even people that don't pay attention to sports at all are just like, all right, like there is a vibe now. Like that is a real thing. The fact that they are good, it gives extra. Like, I think the problem from being a fan before was that, like, the Lions were always atrocious.
Yeah.
So you were always like, why are you so excited about this team? They suck. Like, why are you, it's not like they're the Patriots who were constantly going to the Super Bowl. It's not the Chiefs who are now the Patriots constantly going to the Super Bowl. They were terrible. And so you just kind of, like, were like a weird guy.
Yeah.
Now we're just weird guys with a justifiable cause.
Yeah, and it's a little, like, people will spout, like, bandwagoners and stuff, and I have seen that on Facebook a bit, where it's like, oh, you guys weren't watching 5 years ago. it's completely different from bandwagoners. Like the vibe that I'm picking up is like most of us, like if we were in a different state and it was like fucking Kansas City. Oh,
Yeah.
Kansas City's doing great. I would look at you and be like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
The fucking Lions though, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, let's whip some fucking ass. Like let's go. It's the literal underdog story. Like we've been shitty since what, like 67?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
1957.
yeah, and all of us are like so many of us that don't give two shits about sports are like, no, this is still our team. Like, we don't really give a fuck, but like, oh, we're doing good now? Like, yeah, let's fucking support this and make it happen, you know?
We got rid of the curses. So we had 2 curses on us. They called it the curse of Bobby Lane, who was a quarterback we had back in the 50s or whatever. And I think he's the one that took us to a championship or whatever. And then they like, whoever the owners were at the time, like back then, just like, I think next year they just like traded him away in a shitty fashion, like they did Babe Ruth.
Mm.
And he literally said, he's like, this organization's never gonna win without me. And basically they didn't. They just were terrible. And then they had Barry, 3 curses. And then Barry Sanders came along, and then they wouldn't trade him. And he decided it wasn't worth, staying here because they were terrible, and he wanted to go win a Super Bowl somewhere, but they wouldn't release him. And then the same exact thing happened with Megatron, in that he was like, he really, like, basically we had a good quarterback and we had him, and that was about it. Like, it sucked. He couldn't get us past. We got to the playoff, and that was it. And he wanted to win a Super Bowl. He deserved it because he was that good. And he was just consistently getting hurt here because he was unfortunately like the safety target, so he was getting hit all the time.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't worth, banging up. He was thinking like, look, I have kids. Like, I'm gonna have to walk around and go. I want to play football and teach my son football when he's of age to play football. And at that point, he's like, I'm going to be old. I don't want my body to be absolutely wrecked from just because to play some seasons that I'm never going to succeed in. So he left and retired a lot, with contract years on his shit. So, what's his name? Jeff Daniels and Peyton Manning put an end to the curse of Bobby Lane. They filled a bathtub full of whiskey, which he was famous for drinking, on the end zone of Ford Field this year. Or maybe it was like right during last year, like around the time they started doing better. But they did it for Peyton Manning's TV show, and he said he wants to try and put an end to the curse of Bobby Lane. And that's what they did. And then all of a sudden we're fucking like, here we go. They started doing that. They made amends with both, obviously, Barry. They built him a fucking statue. And then 2, Calvin Johnson, where they started donating like a lot of money to his charities and his charity works and stuff. And then he's been with the organization. He's helping out in the wide receivers and stuff. He's not a coach yet, but he's still always around, and obviously I'm sure they ask him questions and shit.
Oh yeah.
But nah, man, it's just cool to be in this position. I'm fucking stoked. And shit, honestly, yeah, I don't got much else other than I talked about the carrot stuff and the cocktails. Oh, I didn't talk about it last time because I forgot to. Fable 4.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I haven't seen anything about it, but I loved the fucking Fable games, man. Like,
same.
So much.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying how much I loved them.
I honestly loved them too. I thought they were so good. The fact that you could do evil and do the good and evil thing, and all of random shit you could do. It was such a fun game, and I'm excited. The only thing that sucks is I'm pretty sure I'm a 99% sure it's an Xbox exclusive.
Well, yeah, I think Fable's owned by Microsoft, so it's either it's probably gonna be an Xbox exclusive, and then it'll come to PC after.
Yeah,
So
I'll have to wait for PC for that one because I'm not. They haven't announced enough games on Xbox that I have to get it. Like, unfortunately, I have one system. I'm not saving up money that I already need anyways to buy another system just so I can play Fable. I want to, but
no, I agree with you.
I'll wait. Unfortunately,
I forgot that my fucking my number pad was off. I was going to Google to see where Fable 4 was coming off.
got it. Well, that's the thing is I think the last I saw is they didn't even have a like estimated release date. Or is it, is there?
I'm not seeing an estimated release date, but it is saying, assuming that it releases in the next few years, it'll be Xbox Series or PC with an expected later release on one of them. So there's more rumors on if it'll be PC or Xbox first, because the Xbox Series is actually kind of weak. So they might do PC first. I feel like that'd be shitty for marketing, but PC gamers are coming up. I'm one of them now again. But it does say that as of last year, they say that as soon as it releases, you will be able to play it using Xbox Game Pass day of. So like I'm assuming they're gonna let you like download it early, like with a soft lock on it to where you can't play early unless you're a good fucking coder and can get around that. But don't do that. That's illegal. You'll get sued out your fucking asshole. Or do it and just don't fucking stream it.
Yeah, just don't tell them. No, honestly though, I am fucking pumped for when that does eventually come out because that's gonna be a cool game to see. There was I saw there was like some news about the new Star Wars game that they are working on it for the new I should say the trilogy, the third one in the Star Wars
oh yeah,
Cal Kestis adventure.
I still gotta play through that. I didn't even beat the first one, man. Like I got so close.
I think I actually did. I finally beat it. I went back and did it.
Do we still have the footage of when you were playing and you you couldn't fucking it was, I don't remember what world you were in, but it was like the connected ropes, so you had to jump from one rope to the next to the next.
Oh god, yeah.
You just kept fucking, it was lined up perfectly, but no matter what you did, you just fell to your fucking death, man.
Yeah, there was there in that they have especially in the second one now they had like separate maps where you could you got extra like force power by completing essentially a giant ninja warrior course.
Oh, nice.
It's like it's like jumping. It's all of them were like in space, and it's like, all right, you have to jump off wall, swing, land on this, land on this zip line, jump to the others, and then jump on the other zip line. But both of those zip lines have like an electric spark current going down them, so you have to like jump between the two lines to avoid the sparks as you're going, and then that kind of shit. So it's like this whole crazy ass. Essentially, they're all about a minute long in length. Some were obviously they were easier and harder as you found them in the later worlds, but like they would take me like fucking 20-30 minutes to complete because I was just fucking falling all the time. I was so mad. But also like, I mean, they're fun, but
yeah,
fuck. Like, it's so infuriating.
I don't know. I still remember that your fucking old house.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we were recording. I think you were just playing that before I came over. Back when we did all the video games and shit. Yeah. Oh, that shit was so fucking funny, man.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, that's one thing I'm excited for. Like, once you do come back home, is to like start playing some games in the room, because it's like I'm very. That's one of the things too is I've gotten lazy as fuck about finishing this room because you're not here and we don't have a necessary like I'm gonna try and do it by this weekend so I can. Now that it's in February, I can get working on the room for Melissa and get all that shit out of there. So I want to get that room going for her. But yeah, man, I'm like, I just got to get going on shit. It's been too long. I have the paint at this point. It like I have to shake, and not shake it, but physically shake it and stir it a bit because it's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sorry, I hit my boo boo. You can't see it. You guys can. I fucked up my elbow.
Ooh.
Yeah, I went to break a bolt, and you can't see me, but they can. I went to break a bolt off of a fixture I was working on, and there was something maybe this far from my elbow, like 2-3 inches, not a lot of space, but I fucking ripped the Allen key to pull the bolt, and the force that I had to put on it, I full on elbowed this shit, and like, oh my god, man, yeah,
you can't see it, but I am wincing and cringing my body.
Dude, it was awful, and like I've got the cut resistant sleeves, and like my uniform is cut resistant too, so I had double layers of cut resistant, and I hit so hard that I full on like cut through my skin. Didn't cut through any of the sleeves, but I have a beautiful cut in my elbow.
Fuck yeah! You gotta send me a picture of that so I know what you're talking about. Just snap it to me or whatever.
Yeah, well, it was like Thursday. You guys can see it more. Look, it's right there. It's a little healed up, but I'll send you a Snapchat of it. Once we're done with this. So
yeah. Well, honestly, I was gonna say we can probably call it because unfortunately it took me an extra 20 minutes to get started on this fucking thing because my computer froze and the internet sucks.
I mean, I will say we have perfect timing because my DoorDash just got here, so I scheduled it. I scheduled it for 20 minutes after when I thought we would be done recording.
Yeah, no, you were right.
Yeah.
My fucking computer sucked. But hey, thank you guys so much for watching. We love you. Sorry today is for our regular listeners and really Ivy.
No. Forget
What?
that. Forget that. Sorry. This is for Detroit.
Yeah.
Ivy, I know you're about it too. You're from the fucking state. That random German guy that watches us, your favorite football team now is the fucking Lions. That random dude from
Detroit
California,
Lions.
Oregon, or wherever you are, you might have a VPN. I don't know. Your favorite team now, not the fucking 49ers, it's the Lions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
Anyways, we love you.
Yeah, regardless, we love you. Yeah. We love you guys. We look forward to seeing you guys next week, and have a good one.
Bye.